Hey everybody, Peter Mahar here with Biblical Dragons, one-stop shop, all things Biblical Dragons, and hopefully helpful tips and things to make your life not only easier, but make your guys healthier, happier, and holier. The worms of this corner, the benefit, this is kind of huge. We are going to be talking about food today. What do you feed your bearded dragon? What do you not? And if you've done any kind of Google searching, you have found many conflicting things. Maybe spinach. Everyone says stay away from spinach. Everyone says it's okay to give them every once in a while. Well, is it good or is it bad? There's so many other things to feed your bearded dragon. Why are you worried about giving them spinach? Kale is for sure a good thing to give them. Give them kale instead of spinach. If you do not have access to kale, get access to kale. Some of the things I'll regularly give my bearded dragon are carrots, sweet potato, peppers, squash, peas, and parsley, and also kale. Not sure if I said kale. But to prep all that stuff can be hard, and if you're not a very good eater yourself, you probably don't have that stuff on tap and always in your house. You probably got those frozen pizzas in the refrigerator or oven, getting ready to be cooked. So you don't have a whole lot of fresh stuff. If you're not feeding yourself well, how do you expect to feed your bearded dragon well? So you might be tempted to buy some of that pre-packaged stuff for your bearded dragon. It's terrible for your bearded dragon. Look at the ingredient list. The ingredients are freeze-dried mealworms. Okay, that's not terrible. Freeze-dried crickets, that's okay. Corn? I don't remember seeing that as a thing that's really good for your bearded dragon. Chicken meal, tomato promace, corn gluten. And then we're getting to like spitronella algae, micro extract, chrysanthemum, lactose, fructose. Holy crap, that's not good for you. Everybody knows that, right? Product dehydrated, dried basalt, subsalts, fermentation extract, vitamin B12. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Mixed tricoprils, rosemary extract. Not sure why you're giving them rosemary. Rosemary is actually not a good thing to give them. So there's lots of things in this stuff that you really don't need for your bearded dragon. Not only that, but because it's dry, your bearded dragon's not gonna get the natural waters and hydration that it needs. A lot of people are like, soak your bearded dragon, give them water. They don't actually need a lot of water. They just need natural, fresh produce, and they'll get naturally the right amounts of water through that. But again, it's hard, it's difficult to prep lots of fresh stuff. So I'm gonna show you some hacks on how to do it. You can actually prep once every 2 to 3 months, if not less, a bunch of stuff, freeze dry it, and put it in the freezer. Boom, saves you a bunch of time and money. So with the power of the internet, I'm gonna do that right now. Thank you, internet. I keep the kale and collard greens separate because then I can regulate how much they're getting versus more greens or less greens. We got our sweet potatoes, frozen peas and carrots. That makes your life easier. And our peppers. All these are prepped. We've cored them out, cleaned them out. We don't want to give the guys seeds. But we're just gonna chop up all the stuff, put it in a bowl, mix it up, and put them in freezer bags. And then when you're ready to feed your guy, you can pull out a little bit of material that you've prepped, put some bugs inside. The bugs will start to eat that. And by the time it's defrosted, you put it in their cage. They've got fresh vegetables. Bugs are freshly gut loaded. Right, Athalia? And the cool thing is, it's edible for you too, you see? And if you're feeding yourself this stuff, why wouldn't you feed your bearded dragon? After all, they're basically kids. Well, she doesn't like vegetables very much, does she? She just woke up. Probably not super happy that I have her out here, but she helps sell the videos. So, we're just gonna prep up some of this stuff and hopefully not cut any bearded dragons today. So I'll do all this stuff and then I'll chop up the parsley really fine. Get to know your bearded dragons. Some might not like parsley, but my guys really love parsley. And so to mix it in with all the other stuff actually makes the food a lot more appealing. And it's also good for me. And again, there's lots of chatter on the internet about soaking your bearded dragon and that helps hydrate them, or always having a water dish in with your bearded dragon. That's not usually good. If you put a water dish in your tank, it's actually gonna raise the humidity of your tank, unless you have it in a different place. These guys are desert dwellers. They don't usually have constant access to water, nor do they need constant access. They're getting their water through you know, plants, sometimes the insects, but mostly through plant matter. So let's give them good, natural, fresh plant matter for their food and give them happier lives. The nice variety of stuff, they can kind of pick and choose what they want and don't want. There's so many things. When I first was starting out with bearded dragons, people were saying how they're the easiest reptile. They're super easy to take care of. Once I started doing some research and looking around, everybody seemed to say something differently with care, and it was super frustrating because I wanted to know what is true, what can and cannot these guys eat, what is good for them, what kind of lighting is good for them. And it was just super daunting. As time went on though, and you start to find different breeders and other people and get good, really helpful advice and tips, you start to learn that these guys actually, they're not easy. They're simpler than you might think, and there's lots of great hacks that makes it a lot easier and simpler to take care of your bearded dragons. Isn't that a thing of beauty? One of the reasons I wanted to make this video is bearded dragons are awesome, and especially younger kids see them and they're super docile and chill. They want to get one, and then they quickly realize, holy crap, the food they have to eat all of a sudden is super technical. But my hope is that this video is helpful to you, whether you're a parent or whether you're a kid or whether you're a hobbyist yourself and you're just looking for ways to take good care of your dragons that isn't super intense and difficult. And sometimes when you see people prepping fresh fruits and vegetables every single day, or vegetables, it can seem super daunting, and you're like, I'm not going to do that. And so you just don't, and your guys don't get the care that they need. So hopefully this is easy. Yes, it is a day of prep, but this whole thing, I mean, I'm prepping a lot for a lot of dragons. If you're just doing one dragon, you could make a soup some night with all these ingredients and just put some of it aside. And then got yourself food prepped for a few months for your bearded dragons. As you can see, in just a short amount of time, you can prep a lot of food for either 1, 2, or 5, or 20 bearded dragons. I believe that it's our duty to take dominion of this world, and part of that is taking good care of God's awesome, beautiful creatures. Bearded dragons have such cool personalities. They're honestly like dogs and cats. Everyone is so different. It's really sad when people get them not knowing much about them, and they just feel overwhelmed, and the internet isn't much help because there's so many different conflicting things. All these things are good for your bearded dragon. You don't want to give your juveniles too much of this type of food. They need to eat a lot of bugs and crickets. If this was helpful and it was interesting, please do like it and share it. I know that helps the SEO and helps other people find it. Again, my goal is to take care of these beautiful guys. My name is Peter Mayer with Biblical Dragons. Ciao, ciao, and good night.